Hey everybody, Matt Winsonreed here with the Matt Winsonreed Real Estate Partners and Realty Executives. I'm here with the Before 16 founder, Dan Spransy, and I always forget your title. Nate Haag is the director of the foundation. So I'm with these guys. What we're doing is doing a fundraiser this Friday at our office here to have all the funds go to Before 16, and I wanted to do this quick interview with these guys so people know a little bit more about the charity and where those funds are going to. So Dan, why don't you start a little bit, share about your heart behind why you started Before 16?
Absolutely. Well, Matt, as you very well know, I own a real estate company called Realty Executives Spransy, and for a long time, actually, I wanted to get involved with some kind of a nonprofit charity, so doing something, but I wanted it to be very from the heart. I wanted it to be authentic and not just, oh, I signed up with a charity, and that's what our company is behind now. So I was kind of waiting on the right one, and we were introduced to this concept of hosting orphans from other countries that needed families, and they were older orphans, and we were introduced to it primarily through the young woman who ended up being our daughter, and so we did go through and adopt her, and she's been our daughter now for 3 years. She's 16, which is crazy. But I wanted to do more. I tend to think big. I wanted other people to have the opportunity to be able to potentially adopt other kids that needed homes. And so I found out about this. I'd never heard of it before. I grew up in a church, and you would think this would be all over the place, but this was brand new information to me 3 years ago, 3.5, 4 years ago now. And so in my hopes, or in my desire to do more, Before 16 was founded. I'm giving you the short version, but Before 16 was founded, and it's basically we're a nonprofit that helps bring awareness to this hosting program and adoption, and raising money and giving those funds to give for people to give. We give grants to families to then help them fund the hosting, because the hosting is usually around $3,000
Just to host the kids.
Just to host the kids over the summer or over Christmas, and that oftentimes what happens is usually it's families interested in hosting. Usually one of the spouses or couples is interested and wants to do it. Then they bring it home and talk to the other one, and they go, "How much?" "Oh, no, $3,000." So, but if that $3,000 goes to one, that usually is enough. What we found is usually enough to overcome that, and we want them to have some skin in the game.
Sure. Yeah,
so we give $2,000 grants out. And we've been doing this for 3 years.
3.5.
3.5 years, so we've seen about 6 sessions or so, hosting sessions.
And those sessions are twice a year, is that right? Yeah, so
One in the summer.
Okay.
Usually it's between mid-June to mid-July, and it varies with each country. And then we do the winter as well, which would be early to mid-December to just after New Year's.
Okay.
So
each country, what are some of the more popular countries that you guys have been able to partner with?
Well, we work with 3 countries. Latvia, where Erica is from, Ukraine, and Colombia, which is fairly new. It opened in 2019. So we've had 2 sessions since Colombia has opened, which is really cool.
That is great.
And it's not something that every country does. So when you look at international adoption, and we're talking about older orphans, kids that are older than 5, and they age out at 16 for adoption, so that's why it's Before 16. Not every country does this. So they're always looking to add more countries whose governments are okay with the idea of hosting a child. It's kind of like a foreign exchange program essentially, but it's a chance for a family to meet a kid who's in an orphanage and could use a forever family. And it's almost like a test run in a lot of ways. And so like a country like the Philippines might open next summer for us, which would be, fingers crossed. Haiti has been close, nothing confirmed yet, but there's some other countries sort of in the mix. But those 3 countries are the ones that we're working with right now.
That's awesome. Yeah. So like you mentioned, ages between 5 and 16. And I think what's important about that is a lot of times families think about adopting, they think of younger children or babies, which is great. There's a big need there. But what I think a lot of people don't know, what I've learned through your charity and your foundation, is that the statistics after they age out of an orphanage, that after age 16, it just gets really dire straight for these kids. Do you have any stats or anything off the top of your head that speaks towards that?
You know, we used to share some what we thought were hard stats. But the reality is it's really hard to get hard stats on that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard stuff like 10 to 15% commit suicide by the time they're 18. That 60 to 70% of the girls go into sex slavery because they got no other options. But there's no way to really confirm any of those numbers, and even the source we got those numbers from is pretty sketchy. So I don't plaster that all over the place. What we have had happen, we have had kids come over, and I remember there was one girl. I wish I could remember which girl it was, but we have had kids come over from Ukraine, where it was kind of the worst stories that we've heard and said. I hope I can find the family so that I don't have to be a prostitute when I age out. That's pretty rough.
Right. and sort of avoiding the numbers, just the overall narrative is the fact that kids don't have any sort of not only social safety net, but voices in their lives who are encouraging growth, and not destructive paths become an easier way to go, easier course, when you don't have those things happening for you, and you need money just to survive. Sometimes you take the most convenient road, which can be painful.
Yeah,
and that's what we've seen that.
Yeah, might not even be convenience; it might be the only option.
Right.
Yeah.
So regardless on what the specific numbers are, we know that they're pulled from difficult situations that don't really have much of a hope or a future at best. So being able to get involved with the family that can care for them and give them a hope in the future here is what we're looking for. From what it sounds like.
Just to clarify a little on how the organization works, our role is we bring awareness. We try and help find families that are interested in hosting, and then we give grants. We raise money and give grants away. So we don't facilitate the hostings. We don't work with the countries. There's other organizations that would kind of come under and take care of all of that stuff. That's our role, those two things. So raising money, we always need money to give away to qualified families and kids, and then we need more families.
So those efforts have led to a couple of adoptions. Obviously, we already mentioned Dan's with Erica. There have been other adoptions that we know that the Before 16 has been a part of?
Yes. Right now, we've had a total of 14 finalized adoptions in the last 3.5 years.
Wow. And
the process of adoption can be anywhere from 6 months to, as we've already seen, 2.5 years, depending on the situation. Some families have been very diligent. And so we look at that, but we also have 16 that are in process currently.
Wow.
So that'd be, once those are finalized, it would be 30 kids under that umbrella.
That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible, yeah. In that short amount of time to have almost 30 kids that you're able to help with the adoption process and bring awareness to is amazing. So that's one reason why we wanted to partner with these guys, just to continue to bring awareness to what they're doing. They're doing some great work. And so if you want an opportunity to get to know them, to meet these guys, they're going to be here on Friday at our office, 6317 McKee Road. We're having a brat fry that's going to benefit Before 16, and all the proceeds are going to go to them and the awesome work that they're doing. So come on out if you need more information about it. It should be linked somewhere in this video that you're watching, and we'd love to have you come out. Dan, I want to thank you for your time. Nate, thank you for your time as well, and all the hard work that you guys are doing with this organization.
Thanks for having us, man.
All right.
Yeah, thanks,
Appreciate it.
Yeah.